I've just realised something quite odd.
What?
Well, because we're calling in our group chat, that means in the top left hand corner, people can just see that this podcast now has the title "Crackers." At least
I can't see that. Oh
it's what
God, how
it
the hell do I get rid of this? Oh, there we go.
on
What
my
the fuck?
well. I'm on the computer version of Messenger, so I can see more.
Let me see.
But yeah, so it just says crackers, crackers, two people. So, Ward,
Yes.
it's a bloody podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to do these?
No.
Semi-regular. We did get into like quite a good pattern, didn't
Yeah,
we?
like two years ago.
It wasn't that long ago, surely. I don't know when it was. Anyway, yes. So welcome to On the Spotcast number. I can't
Fair
find
enough.
it. I'm gonna have to search.
I'm searching too on my Xbox
Spot.
browser.
I think the last one we did was clearly the Ultimate Road Trip podcast, which was 5 months ago. I have no idea what number it is though, because I didn't put one in.
Where the hell? Yep, there it is.
Yep, and
The
before,
not the free guy. Jesus,
huh?
that was when we went to see Free Guy,
Yep. So we had that. That was that one. The last
and
one
it's
before
now
that.
sitting in a box
And
in the other room. The DVD. So it shows how long ago it was. Oh, Steve.
the last podcast for that was the one we introduced Steve. So this would make, if that was 32, that's
Uh,
33. So this is at podcast 34.
uh,
Roll the credit.
34. 34. Just podcast 34.
Just roll the credit.
Potato.
Roll the credits. So yes, welcome back to the podcast. It's a kind of a return to the way things were like a year ago when we were actually doing digital podcasts for a reason because of COVID.
Hmm.
Although now Alex and I have seen each other in real life, it's not possible this time
Yeah.
because I'm kind of like several hundred miles away from you.
And you and I am several hundred miles away from you.
Yes, Alex is back in home, back in his home, uh, back in England, and I am in Sweden here, very far away.
Eden.
So it's a
Yeah.
digital podcast, so forgive the rather fuzzy looking webcam quality, and probably I don't know how this microphone on this laptop is going to sound, so it could be really bad. I don't know. I think it's okay, but yeah, it could be a bit echo in here because it's quite a spacey room.
And my room's echoey because there's like no furniture in it whatsoever
So really good,
currently.
really good production values this week is what we've established.
Well, we're winging it like the title of your channel. We're proper winging it, bruh.
The title of my channel.
The name of your channel, winging it.
So yes, this podcast is one of two we're doing today. And the first one we're doing today is just a bit of a catch up, really, because it's been a while since we last did one, and there's quite a lot we could talk about. Obviously,
Yep.
it's descended into madness already, but yeah, I thought we'd have a bit of a catch up, a little bit of a chat. So for those of you who are that way inclined, I hope you enjoy it. If you're not that way inclined, you can check out our next podcast, which will be not coming out for like a week, but you can, and which is more of a return to a special format we haven't done for a couple of years. So, yes, very exciting. So, Ward,
So,
what have you been doing since, we have to pretend that I haven't seen you in real life like 5 times since last time we recorded?
just some stuff,
Oh, that's good.
the
Yeah,
old
good. All right.
stuff,
Okay, good.
the old stuff.
So we began January in COVID still. Well, it still is, but and then we first saw each other again in what, like, oh, it wasn't January, was it? It was
What the
last
hell are you
year.
talking
So
about?
I'm confused. I keep forgetting it's 2022. Honestly, I do. We first
Yeah.
saw each other in maybe like September last
Well,
year.
as I say, our last podcast was 5 months ago when we saw Free Guy. I think that was like no, either that, no, we went to Novigrad,
Yes, to Novigrad. Yes.
and then like I want to say 2 weeks later, or that several weeks later, was when we went to see Free Guy again at Novigrad.
So do you know when we went to Novigrad? I can look.
Late August, I'm pretty certain. It was late August. Either 18th or what the fuck have I done? What have I done? How do I switch the camera back? No, what the hell is going on?
Just relax, relax. There's like a little arrow
Oh, there
thing.
we go. I've got it. I've saved it. No, I just like
I'm glad
get
it was
something
just.
off the screen, and next thing I know, it's like
I'm
no,
I'm
completely
glad.
flipped.
I'm glad it was just your window behind there and not something even more dodgy. Yeah, looking, it was the 26th of August we went to Novigrad. Well, when I published
Ah, I
when
thought it was
I
the
when I
28th. I was close.
when I published the video anyway. So yes, we first saw each other back in August. Well, first since COVID, not ever. And since then, we did a number of podcast recordings that never made it out.
Yeah,
Um,
mostly movie reviews.
Basically, yeah,
Free
we did,
Guy, No
yeah,
Time to Die, No Way Home, Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
yeah.
Free Guy went up, the other three didn't.
Or No Way Home would have been after Venom, wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, because that was just before Christmas.
yeah. Well, you said Venom afterwards, so I didn't know if you were going
No, wait,
chronologically.
was that before? Was that
It would
after
have to.
Christmas?
It would have
Was
to.
I waiting for Halo Infinite to install, or did we just hang out? Because I remember we hung out one time and I was waiting for Halo Infinite to install because my internet went to shit. Was that when we saw No Way Home, or was that another
I
time?
think that was when we went to pick up my PS5, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, that was
That's it.
that was December. So
Yeah.
So yes, we basically started a little bit of a movie thing. We did Free Guy, that kind of inspired the kind of just driving about in the car to places. We did record some, but in the end, I think we just kind of.
Yep.
I couldn't be bothered to make them, and I think we just.
Even though you didn't require like barely any editing,
Well,
you were like, I
yes,
can't be able to upload this video.
I have games to play,
Games.
and yeah, I think in the end we just decided that we just enjoyed hanging out and necessarily weren't having to record something. As we mentioned, I obviously got my PS5 during that time, which obviously is not really a particularly secret to anyone now. It's been a while. But yeah, that was sort of the things we've done. And then coming into this year, so far, we haven't particularly done much because there's not really been much going on.
I've just played a bunch of games.
Although we did have was it a pre-Christmas trip to Novigrad or was it a post-Christmas trip to Novigrad?
Well, the last time we actually hung out in person was when you got your PS5, which was just after. I'm pretty sure that was after Christmas because I was waiting for Halo Infinite to install, which is why I spoke about earlier. So last time we met.
Well, it was just. I think it
Not
was.
about Novigrad. I don't remember at all because last time I. No, wait. We actually went into Novigrad before we saw No Way Home. That was our last actual trip into Novigrad itself.
Yes, into Novigrad. We went to Oxenfurt the next time, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know which are places, so I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, Novigrad. No, we went to I could probably tell you when I bought my PS5. It's probably still in my emails. But yeah, we went to Novigrad and I bought a bunch of PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I bought the lava lamp and the lights and the symbols and all that stuff. After we went into what shop was it in? What shop was it in that we went into to get that stuff?
Either CX or Game.
No, I mean to get the PlayStation. No, it's not the PlayStation stuff. The PlayStation stuff was where QD used to be.
Oh, the Range or B&M. Either the Range or B&M. I can't remember which it is, but it's one of those two.
Was it B&M there? Must be B&M
Yeah,
there. It
I
wasn't.
know
It's
there's
not the
several on like
range.
the outskirts and that, but
Well,
it's
but
at
yeah,
the
but where we got the PlayStation stuff from was in the heart of Novigrad town centre.
yeah. I was going to say it was either B&M or the range because
It's
it
B
used
and
to be
M.
QD and now it's either B&M
It's
or the
B and M.
range. I
It's
can't
B and
remember
M,
which.
not the range. Not the range. It's B and M.
Right.
So yes, we went
Right.
there in Novigrad, and we got um, a bunch of stuff. Was last time we met up, and then we went and got my PlayStation. And since then, it's just been a little bit busy. Now I've been working a lot up until I went to come here, and Alex has been.
You don't think playing Far Cry 6 for like 120 hours isn't a job?
I don't think I even had that many hours in it. I've platinumed it twice. I don't know how you managed to cream so much hours out of it.
Remember, I'm
You
A,
take your
very
time.
thorough, B, I take my time, C, I don't use vehicles hardly at all, D, I wanted to uncover every single part of the map, and it's got the horrible map unfogging system from Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Liberation, and Valhalla, where to uncover a part of the map, you have to actually walk over it, and you can't even wingsuit or fly over it, as I've found out several times. So basically, I was like going on all these empty parts of the map, just back and forth to unfog it. But anyway, yeah.
I like using. I like using. I like riding the horses in Far Cry 6. They're quite fun.
Yeah, that was quite well. That was the first Far Cry, I think, since 2 to actually be like, let's have tanks, let's have planes, you know,
Yeah, and you can
because
use them. Yeah, apparently I got my PS5 on the 28th of December.
that does sound about right. Because I was installing Halo Infinite for like the whole week after I got it, because our internet was just like even worse than usual. I,
Sounds fair.
meanwhile, Infinite took like a whole week, and then when the internet was fixed, Far Cry 6 took like a day and a half.
Well, this is just
That's
up.
the show
It's
you
just
go.
updates or something.
Well, Halo Infinite's weird because they released the multiplayer. Well, the multiplayer in Halo Infinite is free to play, but the campaign you have to actually buy. And they released the multiplayer a couple of weeks at least before the campaign came out, so that's like a whole separate sort of download thing. And
You
when
know,
you
I. You
when you
know.
buy the disc, which is the campaign, you install the campaign. As far as I understand it, you install the campaign off the disc. Then any updates plus the multiplayer, you then have to install like
You
as
see
update
now.
thing.
Now I remember when Cold War first came out. Call of Duty's done this. Last two games, you have to get the campaign is in add-ons, but it's not. It doesn't cost you anything. But you buy the game, as in you buy the disc. It
Yeah,
comes with multiplayer zombies or whatever. You
yeah.
pick which one you download first, turn your menu, so which one you want to prioritize, and then when
Mm,
you download the story, you download it in like 4 sections.
mm.
And I remember at the time, you were very complaining about it. You were like, "Oh, it's not good. I don't. Why would they do that?" And now Halo's done it, and he's like, "Oh, actually, no, they've done that."
It's,
So, oh, I dropped my phone. Apparently,
but
clearly,
to be fair, there is also a bit of bias there because I like Halo way more than I've ever liked Call of Duty.
well, still, my point.
There
My
is a bit
point
of bias,
stands.
there. I'm like, I'll let Halo off because it's Halo.
Well, you can't. Anyway, so you want to talk about your Christmas games, so you call it.
I can if you and the viewers want me to. What Christmas games or whatnot did you sort of play over sort of Christmas and this year so far?
Well,
Apart from just pilling around on your PS5, like, oh, there's this thing, there's that thing, there's this.
well, there was an element to that, obviously. Obviously, that's what you do, isn't it? But yeah, obviously, the games that I've played since I got my PS5 have obviously been, a bit of a different style. I think the first game I played was, and I don't know, I'll be taking this in turns here. Are we doing one game at a time, or are we like?
It's up to you because I've got like four things. I've got Halo Infinite, Valhalla DLCs, Far Cry 6, and Fear 2 DLC. Fear 2 DLC won't take hardly any of that time, but the other three,
I can't even. I can't even remember how many. I'll look on the PlayStation app. That'll tell me. It's been a while. It's been quite a lot of different games I've gone through this year so far.
It's been a while.
So I think let's have a look. Okay, yes, better. Yeah. So the last thing I did before I got my PS5, I platinumed Golf with Your Friends.
Proper hardcore man game.
And hey, we had some good times playing that on PC back on the old channel.
Yeah, where we used to also do like Cards Against Humanity and that. Jesus God, we're talking like 20. I want to say
I thought you were
2016.
going to say 20 years ago. I was like, he's not that far.
Ah, I was saying like 2015, 2016. Jesus, on your
Yeah,
old channel.
about that time. But we can always bring something like that back when we're doing a podcast in real time in the future.
We've tried doing that with Cold War, even that we had some banging like banter
They
going on. And
still
you're like, I'm not
exist.
going to upload
They still
this.
exist. I haven't got rid of them.
Oh, I didn't know. As far as I knew, they were just gone.
No, they're on my computer at home still. I haven't done anything with them yet because obviously by the time I got
Obviously,
around to it, Vanguard came out. And
yeah.
so what I'm thinking is if I ever make some sort of big compilation with just most ridiculous things we've said ever, like it'll just be in
Yeah.
there. So yeah, I did that. Then I platinum Doctor Who: The Edge of Reality,
Oh, what a banger of a game that is.
and then I got my PS5, and the first game I played was Astro's Playroom, which
That's the, and that is that the thing where you all like part basically platform for all the internal
well,
thingies of
basically
it.
what it is, Astro's Playroom is a game series that's had two entries. First one came out with PlayStation VR, and the second one with the PS5. And basically, what it is Sony has a basically like a crack top team of game developers that they only use for very specific reasons.
Yeah.
And basically, their entire job as game developers is to literally make games based on PlayStation features. That's all they do.
Uh,
So basically, the PSVR one, Astro's. I can't remember what it's called. I never had it because I never had a PSVR. But it was designed to show off all the features of the PSVR. And this time, the PS5, Astro's Playroom was basically a game purely made just to show off PlayStation 5 features, mainly the controller features. Basically, what it is it's just a platformer type game, which is basically just a massive PlayStation love fest where all the worlds and the things you explore and experience and do are just made up of loads of different PlayStation things from all of PlayStation's history. So you have worlds that are based on PS1, PS2, PS3, 4, and all that sort of stuff. You have PSP, Vita stuff. So you have all these different worlds that you explore that are made up of PlayStation stuff. So like all the grass is PlayStation symbols, and all the trees are made of PlayStation things, and you zip line by throwing a controller charger wire from a PS2 controller into something or something like that. So it's all incorporated into the world. And so it's a really, actually, to be honest, it's probably one of the best platformers I've played just on its own. It's a really great platformer. It's classic, run around, break, collect
yeah.
coins, that sort of thing. So it's really fun to play, and it's basically designed to show off the PS5 controller. I was going to hold one, but I haven't because I only got Isabel's PS4 here. I'll hold this up. Imagine it's a PS5 controller, but it's not. So they basically, have lots of different features that help show off the adaptive triggers and the blowing into the microphone and all that sort of stuff. It was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. It has a really great soundtrack, and it's actually really just a heartwarming game. The main collectible you get in the game is basically you collect PlayStation tech. Because
Mm,
in the middle, in like you have like a home base you travel into these worlds from, and in that home base there's like a massive room that is basically like a massive PlayStation room, and as you collect all the tech, it gradually fills up the room with all these PlayStation serials. So you have everything from like the PlayStation Move gun to a multi-tap from the PlayStation One. It's all these different things. You basically collect platinum trophies. You collect all this stuff until the end. You have a massive room full of stuff you can interact with. And it's basically just a big PlayStation fanboy love fest, really, which is why I like it. I hope one day I can show you it because I really want to show you it in motion because I think you actually, despite being an Xbox fan, I think you'll appreciate what it is for what it is.
yeah.
After that, I moved on to my first sort of PlayStation title, which of course I had to really go with a PlayStation launch title. I had to go with a PlayStation Icon, and I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
To be fair, what other sort of big like this is the game that you buy the PlayStation 5 for was there? Because there was no Uncharted or anything like that. even like the PS4, even though it's a dead franchise, they had Killzone because Killzone was always big graphical sort of benchmark.
Yes, I sort of forget that Shadowfall was there.
Yep.
Well, Astro in himself has become an icon, I suppose now.
Oh,
But you have lots of other stuff. I mean, it's the same when every console comes out, isn't it?
yeah.
It's never a whole abundance of games straight away. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank was obviously the launch title. Have become a PlayStation icon on their own since the PS2 days. So yeah, I played the latest installment of that, which I really loved. I really enjoyed. It was obviously my first proper PS5 game. So I really enjoyed doing that. Really fantastic game that was. I really loved that. Then I kind of went on a bit of a PS5 remaster backtrack.
Yep.
Um, I got
You've
full.
seen all the Uncharted screenshots.
No, I'm not there yet.
Oh,
So now we're on to game three, which was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on the PS5.
yep. Oh yeah, they
So,
did that big like sort of Series X PS5 sort of upgrade thing, didn't they?
well, yeah, they basically, yeah, so they basically, yeah, it had a native release on the PS5.
Yeah.
So, which meant I could re-earn a platinum. So I went there.
And it's a pretty like easy and fun platinum as
Oh
well.
yeah, well I've played it multiple times since I platinumed it anyway. But it's good to have a really nice reason that you can earn another one to go
Yeah.
back, and also to see on the PS5 where it's also obviously got a bit of a
Yeah.
resolution upgrade and more FPS, etc. So yeah, I had a great fun with that. I then went and played Kana Bridge of Spirits again on PS5 because I really loved it on PS4, even though it was originally made for the PS5. It came out on PS4. So I played it again on PS5 and I really, really enjoyed that. I love that again. I know Bruno is quite a fan of that one, or I don't know if he's played it or not, but he definitely spoke about it a lot when it was released. Um, then I sort of had a bit of a diversion and I got FIFA 22. I just had a bit of FIFA fun, just did that for a little while. Then I went and
Another
got,
game we used to play a lot on your old channel, and I sometimes was really good at it somehow.
yeah, well, good thing those
I still
videos.
don't understand
Good
that.
thing that has been deleted. So yeah, I did that, and then I went and bought Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is only on
Yep.
PlayStation 5. That comes with the Iki Island expansion. So I re-platinumed that, got to do that expansion, which was really good. I really enjoyed the expansion as well. It's a really great story expansion. Really delved into a lot of stuff, which I was really happy about. Then Alex got Far Cry 6, so I decided to get Far Cry 6 again for some reason. I don't know. It just made me want to play it. So I was like, oh, I wonder if it's on. Oh, it's on
Yeah.
PS5, isn't it? So I got it on PS5, re-platinum that again, and then I had a bit of a play around on Valhalla on the PlayStation 5, and then before I came away, I was and still am, obviously when I get back, doing Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves collection, which I'm working my way through. So yeah, it's been quite a busy year. So basically, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games I've done so far.
Not too bad going at the moment.
No, but yeah, so obviously, when I get back, well, actually, I say this when I get back. What the right thing I should say is I will pick up Uncharted and finish it. What I'm gonna do is pick up Horizon Forbidden West and install it straight away and start playing that. Because
But what you will probably end up doing is rediscovering your love for Snooker 19 or something.
well, I have played that. I have played it, but it doesn't show on my trophy list because obviously I haven't earned any trophies in it
Uh,
because I got them all already. But it doesn't have a PS5 release, but it has a PS5 upgrade, so you can re-download it on the PS5. Um, yeah, I've got a lot of hours in that.
just a couple.
Well, the thing is, the PS5 has this feature where I don't know why. Perhaps Sony wanted to shame us all, but they have a feature now where you can look at how many hours you've put into the game since you got it. A feature that wasn't possible before. Only had in-game options, like you could see how big your save was, like in Assassin's Creed. You can see how many hours or days it is, or Fallout or something like that. They all had that feature. But clearly, Sony's just been keeping track this entire time and thought, we're just going to put it in now. So you can now, like, basically see all of the hours you've invested into games on a PS5. I can't look at it on my phone. I think obviously there's a PS5 feature, but yeah. Last time I checked, my most played game. Do you know what it was?
snooker. I'm going to say snooker 19.
It was. Do you know how many hours I had in it though?
Too many for a snooker game. Oh God. Okay. Is it? Give me a clue. Is it over 100?
Yeah.
Is it over 200?
Yeah.
Is it over 300?
Yeah.
Over 400?
Yep.
Over 500?
Yep.
Played that more than I've played Valhalla. Is it over 600?
Yep.
Is it over 1,000?
Yep.
Okay, you played that more than I played literally any Assassin's Creed game. Is it over 1,500?
Yes.
Over 2,000?
Yep.
Over 3,000?
No.
Oh, over 2,500?
No.
Okay, just tell me, because we've gone to ridiculousness.
It was around this. I think it was about 2,195.
Oh.
So not many.
That's what people spend in MMOs. Or like Skyrim, not a snooker game.
I enjoyed it.
True, fair enough. I mean, then again, I was going to say, I don't know how, if I put my total Assassin's Creed playtime, like literally all of them, I don't know what I'd be. But then again, that's multiple games.
And then, obviously, in January, the PlayStation did their kind of version of the Spotify wrap-up thing, where you can see what you did in 2021. So in 2021, I can now bring this into the podcast. I did 30 games, and my snooker 19, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, so it's 793.
So that was just in 2021.
Cool.
So I've probably gone past your entire Assassin's Creed hours just in that.
My total playtime for Odyssey is like 970 something. Then it's Valhalla, which is 483. Origins, I don't know what it is for Origins. Because, of course, Origins' new Game Plus is a different file, unlike in... How the fuck did I get 900 off them?
I don't know.
I don't know for Origins. I want to say... I'd say at least 350 for Origins. All the rest are like... If we're talking about multiple playthroughs, I have no idea. And, of course, the game, there's like Brotherhood, I can 100% in like 30 hours. I have no idea, but it definitely goes Odyssey, Valhalla, Origins, and then the rest. But my most played is Odyssey at 970.
Sorry.
But yeah, apart from Odyssey, that last year you completely smashed me on every Assassin's Creed game.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what you've got to consider with what you're saying there. That's a whole series you're talking about. This is just one game.
If you put my total playtime in every Halo game, it's probably less than that.
Well, the thing is, it has an online multiplayer that is still really well supported. Well, I don't know if they support it anymore, but they've just left it running. I don't know if they actually do anything in the games company anymore, but they've just left it continuously running. So, kind of like the real world snooker season where they have tournaments throughout the year, it just loops throughout the year again and again and again. So you can just play and play in tournaments again and again and again against people. So yeah, quite a lot of hours I've put into that. Which is not surprising, really, when you probably consider the average online match is probably maybe like 30 minutes.
Well, it's with something like Call of Duty or Halo, you're looking at like 10, 15 for most.
Yeah.
So you can fit like 2 or 3 of those in one game with your snooker.
For anyone who's wondering, my top 5 in the PlayStation wrap-up, my second was Fallout 76.
Oh, man. That's a game everyone loves. Oh, wait.
I liked it. I had 250 hours in that. So
it's an MMO. That's an MMO, so that's a bit more like that's small fry for an MMO.
I don't really call it. I don't think it is an MMO. Is it?
I think it's the Fallout MMO. Basically, like Elder Scrolls Online is the Elder Scrolls
I just feel
MMO.
like you can't call it a massive multiplayer online when you're only limited to 20 people in one game at a time.
That's because their engine can't put up with 20 people, let alone 2,000.
I think it's the servers, not the engine as such. Then I
the
had...
engine crappy since like 2007, to be honest. That's why Bethesda has the reputation for their jank, because their engine is falling apart.
Fallout 76's engine works really well. They improved a lot of stuff on that.
Whoa.
In third was FIFA 21, which apparently I don't remember doing it this much. Apparently I put 190 hours into that.
I don't remember you. Granted, I don't watch you every day of your life,
No,
but I
yeah.
don't remember you ever sort of saying about playing it.
Fourth was Cold War, which was 114 hours, which is probably mostly for me to trying to blitz my way to the multiplayer trophy of prestiging. Um,
Yeah.
and in fifth was Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, which apparently I put 106 hours in.
No, where's Valhalla on there?
Well, I probably didn't play it much during 2021 because it came out in 2020, didn't it?
Yeah, at the end of 2020.
No, I had a platinum in 2 weeks. I was done with it.
Bloody hell. You're quick. It took me like almost a month.
I'll have a look. I can have a look. I can drag back. Obviously, I came back
Wait,
to it.
Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered for 106 hours? That's like a 50-hour game to 100%. Even if you had Liberation, that's another 20, barely.
Well, I think
What are you
well,
doing?
well, I think Liberation's included on that disc, so perhaps it counts it as well.
Yeah, but still, that's barely a 20-hour game if you 100% it. Like, did you play it multiple times or what? And it's not even like it's got the multiplayer.
You don't need to play it multiple times, do you? You can do memory.
No, I know. I was just saying, like, it's 100. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of Valhalla, I think I I can tell you basically when I got
Go
it.
on.
I got it pretty much like a week after release, I think.
Ah,
But that was 2020, don't forget.
yeah.
And you were late to the party, so
Because I spent like all of last January pretty much,
mm.
and toward the last few days of December, just putting like 8 to 10 hours a day into that
Right.
thing.
So I completed the prologue on. Okay, it's a little bit longer, but I completed the prologue on the 19th of November 2020, and I platinumed it on the 7th of December 2020. That's
Nice.
about 2.5 weeks. But
I
see,
completed the prologue on the 28th of December.
and obviously I've gone back and done the Druids, Mastery Challenges, Siege of Paris, and the Tombs. But obviously they didn't really register enough hours to feature in the top 5 list.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Since then, I've done quite a lot more games. Because since then, I did quite a lot actually. Since then, I did like Miles Morales, Cyberpunk, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Fallout 76, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed Liberation, Assassin's Creed Unity, Watch Dogs, Rogue Remastered, Arkham Asylum on the PS3, Fallout 3, AO Tennis 2, Watch Dogs Legions, Olympic Games, FIFA 21, Cold War, Kenner Bridge of Spirits, Far Cry 6, Crisis Remastered, Crisis Remastered 2, Crisis Remastered 3, Call of Duty Vanguard, Skyrim, PS3, GTA 3 Definitive Collection. Yeah, yeah.
That's a fair few.
So yeah, obviously, yeah, I've been playing quite a few games so far, and now I'm here, helping Isabel do hers,
Yeah.
which was so far I platinumed Brotherhood for her,
Mm.
and that was a joy, a real joy.
Brotherhood's the best Assassin's Creed
It
game.
was dull. It was dull. All I had to do was Il Principe stuff, and it was dull. 20, 10, 12 assassinations, 10 this, 10 this, 10 that.
They're not that bad.
Collect all 101 flags. Who put 101
They're not that.
flags? That's
They're not that
too
bad.
many. That is too many flags. If you have all the maps bought and you see all the flags on the map, they're everywhere. Some of them are within like 10 meters of each other.
It's better than the flags in Assassin's Creed 1.
Oh, I didn't bother because Assassin's Creed 1 doesn't have trophies.
Oh, oh yeah, it doesn't.
There's no trophy support for that, so that's the one game I'm
No,
never going to platinum.
they didn't even patch any in because when they
No,
added trophies, they even
surprising
patched
really.
them.
Because other games like Uncharted 1 came out in the same year as that, and they patched trophies in. So I
Yeah,
don't know why they didn't do that
I think they
for.
did that for like Metal Gear Solid 4. Killzone 2 had trophies when it. Yeah, Killzone 2 had trophies when it first came out, didn't it?
Uh,
I think Resistance 2 and World at War did, so Killzone 2 probably did. But I think MGS for Metal Gear Solid,
after
game from like late 2008 onwards had trophies at launch.
yeah,
I'd say
I think that they got really trophies got made in 2007, which is like a year or so after PS3 came out. And then after a while, they got made compulsory, so games had to have them.
Yeah.
Or new games had to have them anyway. But not all of them. And sometimes you get games these days. These are disgusting games, these ones. Disgusting games that have trophies but don't have a platinum. What's that about?
I thought the platinum was like a thing that's just like every PlayStation game now has that.
No, they just have to have I think they just have to meet a certain trophy amount score or something, like how much value they're worth. Pretty much every game does. This is very rare that you find. I believe the only one I know of is like Max Payne 1 remastered. Well, not remastered, but re-HD'd onto the PS4. I didn't have a platinum. Puts me off playing games like that. Why would you not do it? It's like one trophy. I mean, it's like they got to the end and thought, I can't be bothered to type that one in. No bother. But disgusting. So yeah, I did that, and I've platinumed Revelations. That's kind of it now. And now I'm going to platinum, or aiming to platinum, Horizon Zero Dawn on Isabel's account. I already did it on my own, obviously, a long time ago.
Obviously.
About years ago when it first came out. And back in when did Horizon Zero Dawn even come out? Like 2017?
17 or 18, because it definitely wasn't 19.
2017, I think.
Mm.
He's going to Google it.
I will.
The thing is, I can do it on my phone much quicker.
Yeah, well, I'm using my phone. I do it on my phone, but it's kind of occupied at the moment.
Yes, well, mine's not. 2017. February 28th. So yeah.
It'll soon be its 5th anniversary.
Well, yes, it will be. It will be. Although it's coming out before then, thankfully. It's coming out 10 days before its 5th anniversary, I guess, technically. Which is probably for the best, because if they just said we're going to wait, I probably would be annoyed.
Grow up, man up.
Imagine
wait 6 years for the next Halo game. Halo Wars 2 doesn't count before Bruno says in the comments.
Imagine
we had to wait 4 years for the proper Justice League film, and we're still waiting for the sequels that we were promised back in 2014.
How does Halo Wars 2 not count?
Because it's a spin-off, and plus it's an RTS. I'm talking about the proper mainline first-person shooter ones.
Okay. Well, that's life, I suppose.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
I don't know, for some reason when you said Halo Effect, for some reason Mass Effect Andromeda came into my mind. I don't know why.
I have no idea. I played that last year. I got that for that was my main birthday gift last year.
Didn't that kind of like not do very well?
At launch it was like a Fallout 76 sized mess.
Stop comparing things to Fallout, it's not nice.
But even I'll be honest, I didn't have many bugs. I really liked it. It's like an 8. It's a solid 8 out of 10. But it does apart from graphics, it does literally everything worse than the original trilogy. And I'll hold my hand up and admit I think the original trilogy is like the best trilogy in entertainment history, regardless of video games or otherwise. But still, pretty objectively, Andromeda does literally everything worse than the original trilogy. Writing, dialogue, world exploration, even the combat. I love Andromeda's combat, but Mass Effect 3's combat is just, I don't know, something about it Andromeda just kind of lost.
Did you play Mass Effect originally, or was it ever out on Xbox, the first 3?
Yeah, the original Mass Effect at launch was an Xbox exclusive, and then when EA bought BioWare between Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect 2, that's when it became multi-format, because you got Mass Effect 1 for the first time on PlayStation in 2012 when they did like this trilogy box set of all three of them.
Ah, right, I see. Okay, because I wasn't
So,
sure.
like,
Because I knew
the
there
first
was.
Mass Effect was published by Microsoft. It was an exclusive.
I knew there was a kind of some sort of
Yeah.
overlapping going on, but I wasn't entirely sure.
Yeah. It was like Bioshock. Bioshock, the first Bioshock, that was originally an Xbox exclusive, but then you lot got it several years later, and then 2 and Infinite were multi-format. It was like that.
Yeah, I've never played Bioshock.
Me neither. I respect it as a like artistically, it's insane, and I respect it. I never want to play it.
The first Bioshock is meant to be more of a kind of horror-esque, isn't it?
The first, all three of them to an extent, yeah, but the first one definitely.
And then I think everyone, knows of the kind of, would you kindly narrative revelations and stuff like that. Everyone's heard of that sort of thing.
Would you kindly? Yeah. That twist has been spoiled by everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's been out quite a long time now. Is there something going on? Yeah.
I don't know.
Some kind of
What's going on?
I'm just going to check the recording. Still recording? Yes, it is. Good.
They're whispering about something. Let's see. I wondered what was going on. That's all.
This is all part of the fun of doing this. Sorry if I keep checking the recording, people. I just need to make sure.
Oh God.
That was dramatic.
Yep.
Okay. No, everything okay out there?
Yep. Everyone's alive and well, thankfully.
Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking what I should do for my tea.
What?
I don't know. That's why I'm thinking about it.
I speak English for dinner, so I'm not going to have much tea myself.
I haven't really had anything so far today. I had some chocolate.
Wow, that's a balanced meal. Unless it was a Twix and you had one finger in each hand.
It was fruit and nut. Does that?
I don't know.
It's got a bit of, it's got nuts and fruit. It's well balanced out of all of that. It's got dairy, fruit, and nuts and protein. So yes, that's very balanced.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's probably about time that you talk about your games.
Yeah, like we're like 50 minutes in.
Is that what the time is? I don't even know what the time is.
I want to say near enough. I want to say, I don't know.
45 minutes in.
I wasn't far out.
Well, so what have you been playing then this year so far?
Well, first thing was, after 6 years of waiting, Halo Infinite. At long last, we finally got the new, again, Halo Wars 2 doesn't really count as a RTS spin-off. Talking about the mainline first-person shooters. Finally got the new Halo game. Was it worth the 6-year wait? Yes, with some caveats. Bruno right now, so like, I know what he's gonna say because Bruno hates Halo Infinite story. I really like its story. Like, it's got loads of nice callbacks to the previous games. It's after Halo 4. It's like the most emotional, in my opinion, well put together Halo story. It's got my second favorite portrayal of Master Chief after Halo Falls again. After Halo 5, anything would have been a step up, but they really actually tried. They really, I think, did something quite special. But it's got a lot of holes, and they planned. Remember when Destiny was coming out, and Bungie was all like, "Oh, this is going to be a 10-year plan." They basically said it with Halo Infinite, and from its story, you can tell there's so much that's left unresolved and unexplained, and is deliberately vague. And I know we're likely going to get the game is literally built pretty well for proper big story expansions, whole new areas and whatnot. But as of right now, I really like its story, but with a lot of caveats. Ask me again in several years, and it has a chance to be the best Halo story ever. As of right now, I think it's the second best, but yeah, there's problems with it. And the open world stuff I really like, which again Bruno doesn't like. But apart from one mission,
why doesn't he like it?
God. he thinks that it's a world where, to Bruno, I don't think this quite so much, but it's like there's a lot of empty. It's one of those cases where, you know, some people think there's a lot, like people say about like Odyssey and Valhalla and even Origins. There's a lot of empty space. We're not really much stuff worth sort of finding. In my opinion, I thought
Like
was
Brotherhood.
no,
Yes,
no,
no,
no, no.
Rome is like 40% grass.
But there's stuff you can't deny that there's a good chunk of like side stuff to find and
Or
do.
flags.
Like Bruno, I don't agree with that, but I do feel like that outside of one story mission where you're basically like crash landing like this ship graveyard and you have to take out these free AA guns and it's basically here's your free targets, take them out however you want and that. Apart from that mission, the open world stuff doesn't really add a great deal to the game as a whole.
You think it would have
But
been perhaps better as like a semi-open world?
that's the thing. I will get into a bit more of that in a bit when I say about just sort of general, sort of more positive stuff. But aside from those two things, I loved it. Like I loved it. Like I said, I really like the story despite its problems. Its combat is brilliant, which is good because it's like a 25 to 30 hour game if you do find all the open world stuff and whatnot.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a first-person shooter, so you'd hope the combat would be good. It's kind of what it
Yeah,
is.
but yeah, and even Halo 5 is a good shooter, but again, we're talking about not like an 8 to 10 hours, linear. Even though Halo's not as linear as Call of Duty, it's still a linear game. We're talking about an open world thing. Even though, like you said, it is semi-open world, in which case it's the open. As you progress through the story, you unlock more areas of the open world, and then as you unlock better vehicles and upgrade your abilities, and that you can then go to like different like when you unlock the Wasp, which is like this, which is basically the UNSC, the human like light aircraft. There's areas of the map you can only go to in one of those.
Okay.
There's sort of like
Is it like
in
one
a
of
way.
those things where you'll go past it previously and you see it and you think, I can't get there now, but I can go back and get there later?
To an extent, not as much as like Arkham Asylum or Arkham
Right.
City or Arkham Knight, but there is an element to it in a way, and that does kind of work. And it is really kind of good if, like me, you wanted to do everything. You're like, okay, I'm in this area, I just focus on this area and do it like that. Like I said, semi-open world, it opens up more and more and more as it progresses, which is good because even though it doesn't quite add, as I said, doesn't quite feel necessary, I feel like that is a better fit or at least a better experiment than being like, let's just do let's do Halo Creed Origins, you know. But the
So,
open world stuff, as again, does it add a great deal to it? Not really, but I'm glad it's kind of there because
do you think?
it's you have so much freedom. You don't have as many options as you do in like Halo Reach or Halo 3 in terms of weapons and vehicles.
Well,
But I said it's like you have you have vehicles, you have weapons, you have all this sort of space to approach all these encounters how you want to, and it is really
is it a
freeing
bit
and
like
fun.
Crisis in a way?
Pretty much,
You
yeah.
make it
Like in
sound
the
a bit
build
like
up,
perhaps like Crisis 3 or something. You make it in my head.
yeah, it is very much like that because in the sort of build up when me and Bruno would like discuss the open world and whatnot, I always said it seems to be a lot more sort of like Crisis or that than
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, and it is a lot more like that. And Halo's combat has always been about, like I say, you have the vehicles, you have the aircraft, you have the weapons, you have the grenades, you have all this stuff.
Options.
And you can in the environments in Infinite, as it's this big wide open thing, you have that freedom. Like, if you want to spawn in a tank and just go ham, you can do that. You want to spawn in an aircraft, you can do that. You want to like buy all these upgrades for like your grapple hook and sort of like, I don't know, grapple across these cliff top sniping ones. You can. You have a lot of freedom, and again, you don't have as many weapons or as vehicles in that currently anyway, because of course 10-year plan they'll probably add them. And that, which would be good, but you still have a lot of options and a lot of freedom, and it is so fun and free. And
Are they planning on using the same worlds for the rest of this plan? Do you think, or
you are on, you are on a chunk of a destroyed Halo ring, and they could, being honest, and I wouldn't be surprised, that every time they had DLC, you had have a whole new chunk of Halo ring.
I
And
just wonder if that's perhaps why the world is perhaps not got much going on, because they perhaps plan to add things to it as they go.
oh, definitely. We also know that there was a lot of story stuff cut just to get the thing finished. That's it. So yeah, and we know from
Microsoft
Halo.
was squeezing that deadline, was it? A little bit.
Well, they had to delay the game by a year because of the sort of reaction to the first showing and that. But yeah, it went through like several different story visions and that. And after Halo 5 kind of messed up the story, they were like, okay, what the hell do we do now? And we also we know from Halos 1 and 3, kind of Halo 2, that there's a lot of like deserts and snowy caverns and islands and jungles and that on Halo rings. You have all these different biomes, and Infinite is basically the sort of stereotypical plains and like woodland and that. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if again in like several years' time we have all these new weapons, all these new vehicles, like 3 new storylines, and all this like deserts and snowy areas and that to explore as well, and all this new story stuff.
As we just finish up on Halo, can I ask a random Halo question?
Sure.
Have we ever seen what he looks like under the helmet?
In the games, you do in Halo 4's Legendary, which is the highest difficulty ending, but only you sort of see his eyes. You've seen Master Chief helmetless more as a kid and a teenager in graphic novels.
He's never like just taken it off.
Books. He never act in it. There's a sort of joke at the end of Halo 1 where the final shot, the camera sort of pans out the ship and he takes his helmet off, but before he gets it off, you can't see him anymore because it's like far enough out. But I say in Halo 4's Legendary ending, you see sort of this bit, but you don't even like see his eye color. But in novels, they've described how he looks. In some comics and graphic novels, I think they've actually shown him. But again, like
I think it'd be one of those things that everyone probably in their mind has an idea of what he might look like, but if they ever actually did it, they probably annoy a lot of people because it wasn't what they expected.
Yeah, because of course, like I say, you've seen him helmetless as a teenager, a kid in some things, and it's been described how he looks. But of course, that's different to Master Chief in the games. And also, when Bungie was devising the creating the Master Chief, the whole sort of idea was that he would be not a full blank slate, but he'd be just sort of blank slate enough for the player to imprint themselves onto the Chief. That's also partly why his helmet, his visor, is reflective. And that, so you see yourself. If you were looking at the Chief, you'd see yourself, which is kind of clever.
Like
and then Halo, being honest, I was never a big fan of. Then Halo 4, I'm like, oh my god, he's an actual character. He's like war weary. He's like all this stuff which they took from the novels and that, and I loved. Then Halo 5 ruined it. Then Infinite brought it back a bit, which Bruno again. No, I know Bruno.
He's sort of he's like the Stig.
Yeah, kind of.
Is it it could be a bit like The Mandalorian, where he didn't take off his helmet for like episodes, and all these people, then they suddenly released what he actually looked like.
Yeah, I remember that was a big thing on the end of the Mandalorian season 1. About, oh my god, took his helmet off.
Everyone has in their mind what they think he will look like, but it's not going to line up with what everyone thinks, because everyone thinks differently.
Yeah.
You might have a general idea. He might be a man with brown hair or whatever, but you don't know, do you?
No, and like I said, describing how he looks and showing him as a kid in comics and novels is different to, Chief in the actual game.
He could take his helmet off and he could look like Palpatine. He'd be like wrinkly with yellow eyes.
You say that, but I seem to remember I didn't actually read the novel that it's from, but I remember sometime reading the actual description in this novel of how Chief looks like, and he's kind of like 40s, sort of bald, sort of pale skin and that, because he spends so much friggin' time in his...
I imagine him being like a Sam Fisher lookalike or something in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. Kind of gruff, kind of slightly greyish, stubble,
I don't remember him ever saying about hair. I think I remember him saying he was bald. I don't know about...
He can't look very good in that suit after being in that suit for so long. It's kind of what I'm going to go back. I'm going to draw us back to Crisis 3, because you get to see Psycho out of his suit, and he's just a fat, balding, middle-aged British bloke. Which is completely different.
From the moment he puts his new suit on at the start of Halo 2 till the ending scene of Halo 4, Master Chief is permanently in his suit through all of Halo 2, all of Halo 3, and all of Halo 4.
Does he have a wash?
3 months between there's like 2 months on that between Halos 2 and 3, and then there's like 4.5 years between Halo 3 and 4. Granted, he is in cryo sleep for those 4.5 years, but still, it's 4.5 years.
Does he ever wash? How does he go to the toilet?
He's got a actual lore fact. Spartans have catheters so they can pee in their suits.
So he's like an old man then.
In that respect, I guess. I mean, like,
does someone have to come along, like a nurse, every day, just unscrew it and take it away?
You joke, but Spartans actually do have to be sort of screwed inside into their suits. Like they have to like go. They can't just like. Apart from the health, they can't just like, I'm just going to take this off. They have to actually go into like this sort of machine thing and have all these like screw things all took out. We've seen this in like Halo 4.
So is it like? So it's a bit like Crisis. It's a bit like Crisis in the sense that they fuse with themselves.
Crisis took a lot of inspiration from Halo, although loads of ones are like compared to a lot.
In Crisis, the suits actually grew into their own skin, didn't they?
Yeah, this isn't like that though. It's not that. They are kind of like one with their suits because they kind of have to be because like the reflexes or the modifications and that they've had to do to become Spartans. It's not like Crisis though, where it's like this suit literally grows enters your body and grows inside you and you become it and that. It's not like that at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I think because lore, like here's a bit of lore. There was like I want to say 72 test subjects for the Spartan 2s and less than half survived. If it was like you said about with Crisis, there would have been even less surviving because my God, again, I'm not going to delve into lore, but the Spartan program was fucked up, and they were doing this to kids.
It seems to be quite a lot of a Oh yeah. If you're not careful, I can link Witcher into this.
No. Oh God, I could probably link Mass Effect into this somehow.
That's how they make witches. They put these chemicals in the kids, and only a few of them survive.
Oh God, and I could go into the
Why is it all of these things happen to have some sort of torture experiment? People don't always survive, but you survive. Now you're a super kind of guy thing. It seems to be default for. Oh, you were a guy with superpowers. Well, there was a bunch of other people who had these, but they all died.
Because I don't know. It's just like I'm trying to think. Gears of War doesn't have that. Oh my God! Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has that as well. When you get your limbs all took off with the DNIs and all that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then part of your story development is you remembering that happening and coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
It's quite.
Oh God, it's the thing in Crisis as well, isn't it? Kind of.
Well, fuck knows where he is in Crisis. By the end of Crisis 3, you've basically got, you're
a nano god, basically. Prophet is literally the nano god.
Yeah, but I mean, who is the guy's body that you get in? What's his name
in Crisis 2? Alcatraz.
You're Alcatraz, who is absorbed at the end, basically taken over by. But so basically, what you're
telling me, Alcatraz is a sage for the Isu prophet.
Yes, perhaps.
My God.
The thing is, what you've got to realise is that even despite the end of Crisis 3, where Lawrence has become so good with his suit, it now basically makes him look like himself.
Yeah.
Inside is still Alcatraz's body, just there.
Yeah. Where does Prophet begin and end? The suit begin and end, and Alcatraz begin and end.
Well, clearly it's to the point where he gets infected, kills himself, but the suit retains his his
consciousness,
his construct, if you like.
Yeah.
And then let's not get into Crisis. So anyway, let's move on.
One final Crisis thing. Crisis 4 has not been officially announced, but semi-teased. There was a Crisis 4 coming. I'm excited.
I don't know where they go with it now. They kind of ended the threat. Everything ended nicely. I don't know why they bother. It ended well, didn't it?
The Beta Ceph, the Gamma Ceph, the Delta Ceph.
Well, you've clearly skipped some letters there. You've got Beta, the Charlie Ceph, the Delta Ceph, the Echo Ceph, the Foxtrot Ceph, which is a bit of a weird one. And by the time you get down to the Zeta Ceph. Anyway, let's move on to the other games because we haven't got all day.
The Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLCs.
Okay.
Well, first I can't even say like paid DLCs because Dawn of Ragnarok's pretty damned imminent. Well, I say imminent. It's a month out, but that's kind of imminent. Wrath of the Druids. Really liked it. I will say its story did feel kind of like needless in a way. It's another Alliance arc, but unlike all the Alliance, because I always say like, loads of ones like, Valhalla stories fill and blow it. No, every single arc in Valhalla ties into Sigurd, building alliances, or the Order of Ancients, Hidden Ones arc, or multiple ones. Wrath of the Druids is another Alliance arc, but as it's DLC, it doesn't tie into anything in the main game, and therefore does kind of feel like a bit of a filler arc. That said, Ireland was still fun to explore. the children of
It was very
down
similar
hell.
to England, wasn't it? Really, the island.
Yeah, and Kira is thick redhead bae.
And dead.
You don't have to kill her. I didn't kill her because I was like, I'm not killing her. She's bae.
She's also
And
like evil. Did you forget the part where she tried to kill you before that? But you're
she
like,
didn't
no,
mean.
you're attractive.
She was trying to protect her people.
No, she's clearly like got some sort of Isu DNA passed down in generations that she has to protect Magic Pole Land.
Magic Pole Land.
I'll get onto my idea of the Valhalla Isu at the end of this, but carry on, Lace.
And Siege of Paris. Wow. Oh my! I loved Siege of Paris.
I was hoping. Don't think of that. I was hoping Paris would look more French. I know it's early days, but
were the French really defined as a culture in like 883?
Yes, but the thing is, I was hoping it looked a little bit different because Paris looks very similar to just the rest of the cities in Valhalla. It's not. You know, I'm not saying I want there to be. Obviously, it's not going to have the landmarks because it's very early on. But yeah, I don't know. I was just hoping grapes or something. You know,
baguettes. You get a baguette sword.
French man with a moustache comes on. Bonjour, Eivor. Would you like some wine?
To be fair, if they did that, it wouldn't matter to me because, of course, Eivor's female. The canon, and I played female Eivor.
Let's think. Obviously, this is not the first time that Assassin's Creed has not done a very good job of portraying the French people.
No,
Unity, where the French people were English.
That's what I just said. Like they sound more British than half the Brits in Syndicate do.
That said, obviously, I having done Brotherhood. There is the French element with the Baron de Valois.
Baron de Valois, yes, or Duc de Valois.
Yeah. And they're all French in that game, quite a lot. Which is just really, that entire mission is just arguing. It's literally just like, now I have your wife, and then Bartolomeo going, nothing hangs between your legs! That's all it is. Anyway, carry on with your...
I miss Brotherhood so much.
Carry on with the Valhalla. We haven't got time.
I love like literally from the beginning when you first enter Francia and it's just super like fucked up and everyone's dead and there's fires over. I'm like, I'm into this. I'm an edgelord and I'm into this. It's so dark and foreboding and hopeless and I love it. And yeah, I just loved Siege of Paris, especially the black box assassination missions. The little mother one. I thought when you get the dagger and that, I thought was a bit linear. All the rest I loved, like the one with Count Odo. I just spent like over an hour just like, oh, what's this thing? Where's this route go? I spent like over an hour doing that.
The only thing I find amusing by all these Valhalla stories, they have a lot of things where you meet the head of that clan, you don't necessarily get on with them, but you get on with their son, daughter, wife. Eventually ends up with you killing the head of the clan, which happens in is it Ireland that happens in?
Yeah, but you don't kill the head because the head one's Eivor's cousin. You don't kill them, but they get killed.
Well, I know, but isn't there there's one where you go over, meet their clan, and you end up fighting that head guy.
I think that's Siege of Paris, yeah. Because Siegfried is like, the French killed my brother. I'm gonna wipe out all the French. But like the girl one. I can't remember the name of, which is bad. She's like, she sides with you, and she becomes lead.
The thing that amuses me is because they have the Viking tradition of doing a home gang and fighting, and it's there. They go, oh, what happened? Well, I just killed your dad. They go, what? Oh, it's fine. He challenged me first. Oh, that's fine then.
Home gang. That's what it is, isn't it? Home gang. Home gang.
It's like that in the main story where spoilers where you kill
Dag.
No. He was a dick. I don't care about him.
No one does.
I'm on about...
Rued? You on about Rued from East Anglia Arc?
No, the Ragnarsson brothers.
Is it the Psycho one? Is it Ragnar? The Psycho? No.
Ivar,
that's it. Yeah, the Psycho one.
It's like bloody dude. Because he kills Cherubert and then
Yeah.
And you fight him, and you go see his brother, who obviously also then dies in the most terrific way ever, off
Yeah.
screen. Um, you
You
just
can
go,
find his corpse. That's something.
Where's my brother? I killed him. What? I was fine. We agreed on it first. I was fine then, innit?
Did you? Yeah, I hate you, but I let him go to Valhalla. We.
Did you give him his axe? It's fine. I forgive you now.
Oh, that's good. But
It's
then I
like,
saw the whip. But then I saw a rabbit steal it. I hate you. But then I killed the rabbit and put the axe back. Oh, I love you.
can you imagine if it was like that in modern days? Like, why did you kill that man? It's fine. We challenged to do a duel. Did you at least give him an axe? Yeah? Oh, it's fine then. That's what you can do
No,
in Sweden
over
here.
here would be a shiv. It'd be a shiv over here,
Yeah, but
or box.
I'm in Scandinavia, so if as long as I put an axe on someone, I'm fine.
Yeah, if you and Isabel get into an argument, and
Hold
she kills you, pray there's no axes nearby, because otherwise she would get. If there was, she'd get away with murdering you.
Well, no, but I'd have to agree to the duel first, wouldn't I? You have to agree. There has to be a mutual consent there.
Fair point.
She
Okay,
kills
make
me.
sure
It's
there's no
different.
paper or pens around either, so she can't forge your signature.
Right. Okay. Anyway, carry on with your stuff.
Yeah, Siege of Paris. I said Edgelord loved Siege of Paris. Super hopeless.
Why does it make you
Super
an
dark.
edgelord
Super
to like Siege
frustrating.
of Paris?
Because okay, if you like apparently if you like Zack Snyder's DC films, which are supposedly all just dark and foreboding, even though they're not. BVS kind of is. Watchmen is, but Watchmen is super dark anyway in the graphic novel, and BVS is because of its themes and story and that. So it's fine. But like, if
Yes,
you like
carry
Zack
on.
Snyder films, which are like oh they're dark, they're this like apparently that makes you an edgelord. If you like
That's
dark,
just
if you
that's
like
not what
dark
the
and gritty
definition of
stuff.
edgelord is. We went through this the other day in our chat. It's like the definition of an edgelord is someone who thinks liking those things makes them cooler, or thinks that
I'm not.
because they like that things, other people go, "Oh, he's so dark and mysterious." But it's not. If
I
you
don't
just
think.
like it
I
because you
don't.
like it, it doesn't mean you're an edgelord. If you like it because you think people, if you like it only because you think other people make you think you're, edgy, then yeah, I don't know.
I
Anyway,
don't
so
give a
yeah.
toss what people think of me.
So you played Valhalla anyway.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, did both Valhalla DLCs. Like I said, Siege of Paris. Loved the tone. Loved the black box assassinations. I loved the villains. The Count Oldo, I thought was, even though he's technically a sort, I don't know what you cast him as. He's just such a delightful bastard. He's like, I'm gonna just, but
Maybe
this guy
he's
wins.
like,
A4 now winning. I'm with A4. I just love that. Charles the Fat, I thought was actually a pretty solid villain. I actually looked him up. All the thing with his madness and that's actually like steeped in fact. That's also why I didn't kill him at the end, because I know in real life he dies like 2 or 3 years later. So I was like, I'm going to try and follow history.
who he reminds me of? Thinking about that, he reminds me of the guy Papa Noff from Outlast 2. The big fat.
I need to rewatch stuff from Outlast 2 because I've
He's the big fat guy that cuts his throat at the end.
Are you thinking of the big dude from Outlast 1 that chases you and throws you
No, I'm not
down?
thinking of Walker. I'm thinking of the big fat guy from Outlast 2.
I don't remember.
Well, basically, he's a big fat guy. He's a big
I,
fat guy that looks similar.
I also have to confess something. When you first heard him talking to himself, I thought he was going to turn out to be another sage. And I was like, no, he's just nuts. I don't know if that was a bit of a missed opportunity in my opinion, because I was like, oh, we got another sage. That's actually going to be cool. But no, he's just nuts.
I wish you could kill him.
You can kill him at the end. At the end,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can decide to
sorry,
either
I
kill him.
forget. Yeah, sorry, I forgot, because in the boss fight, you lock him away, don't you?
Yeah, well, you either lock him away or you do kill him. You just set him on fire like 5 times. Because you can't kill him by normal weapons because he's in like a blood rage. Because he's finally like, okay, nut side of me, I'm going to let you take over.
So yeah, what about the smaller DLCs then? What about like the mastery challenges?
A free stuff. Oh, you want me to just? I'll quickly touch on those. Mastery challenges. The combat ones, apart from one, were fine. The stealth ones were okay, just required practice. Actually, no, the stealth ones were okay. The combat ones, apart from the hammer and setting yourself on fire one, were fine. The stealth and bow ones,
Some of them,
okay.
Some of them. Sorry, I've got to put my phone light on.
Some were fine. Some were fine. Some were bloody horrible.
Some were annoying. Yeah,
Doom Fallen, I loved. Absolutely loved. The Cassandra crossover, I really liked as well. And the festival stuff, the festival stuff's neat. You do it for a few hours. You get some new gear. Cool.
I didn't bother.
Basically,
I didn't bother with any of the festival stuff really. Didn't bother.
I've done them all.
I
If there's
sat
new
through.
free
I
content
sat
added
through
on,
the
like,
boring. I sat through the boring forced cutscene they make you go through.
yeah,
And yeah, honestly, I don't. You know, the Tombs of the Fallen were okay.
I
The
love Tombs of the
mastery
Fallen.
challenges, the mastery challenges, I just don't see the point of it because it was really just seemed like a really shoehorned in. Oh look, magic asteroid fell from the sky. Look, now you do a bunch of challenges, and then oh look, there's another apple of Eden, but it just can't have it.
Ones have found like files and like dialogue hidden away that sort of connects that to the tombs, and some maybe Dawn of Ragnarok stuff.
The
Even
thing
though I
is,
think being honest,
it's
Dawn of
the
Ragnarok
only
stuff we know by now.
the only issue I have with the Isu stuff in Valhalla.
Yep.
There's
Hang
two.
on. My phone's low battery. I'm just gonna plug it in the charger and you keep talking.
The only issue I have with it is that it's just too much of it. It's everywhere. You know, the thing is, in the older games, and I say the older games, in the past
I know
games,
what you mean. Yeah.
in the past games, there was the issue stuff was there, but you used to have to kind of work towards it. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean, I'm not just necessarily talking about the Ezio stuff because obviously that was the end game stuff. But when you got to like, I don't know, like let's just say, I don't know, let's go Syndicate Unity. When you get to Syndicate or Unity, it was talked a lot about, but they were still rare things. But now when you get to like,
Well, Origins is kind of like that.
well, yeah,
Even in
they only
Customer
had the
Pharaoh,
kind of
like to an extent.
they only had like the pyramids and that sort of stuff was
Mm.
kind of the Isu elements, weren't they?
Yeah.
Before the Apple came about.
Yeah.
Odyssey, obviously, you know, the most of the Isu stuff in that comes from the DLC, and the simulations, which is.
The Atlantis stuff.
But in Valhalla, it's just like, oh, here's another Isu thing. Look, there's just another apple. Have that. Here's another one. It's just like everywhere, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I feel like they need some sort of central thing it's working towards. Because always before the Isu stuff in the games before was always there for a reason. Like you know,
I think Dawn of Ragnarok will be that reason
well,
because, of course,
hopefully.
Ragnarok was the whole thing that made Odin, like with the mead and the Tree of Life, and doing like
It's also the end of the
putting their
world, so
to the human gene pool to be reincarnated and that. I think this Dawn of Ragnarok is sort of what all the East. Loads of ones think we are going to get more like one more like Isu / mythology DLC, but personally,
well,
I don't know.
surely in terms of
Something.
in terms of the Isu Ragnarok, which is obviously the end of the world, that would be after they put their blood into the thing and they leave.
Yeah.
Going to face Ragnarok.
Which I think Dawn of Ragnarok is. It goes the storyline in the Asgard Jotunheim stuff. They transfer their stuff, and then it's Dawn of Ragnarok. That's how I'm sort of interpreting it.
In the most Isu weird way possible by having a big round table of magic babies.
The Isu were weird.
That was
Isu
confusing. I don't know what was more confusing: the actual like Isu version of that story, or the kind of mythology version. Because you see it in two different videos, don't you? You see the Isu version, and you see the kind of mythology version, and both times it's still confusing.
How Eve, you see how Eivor perceives it as mythology, and then in the truth, you see the actual version of it. Yeah.
I don't know if they can keep calling those things the truth, because by now the truth has happened quite a lot of times. How many different truths can there be?
Well, I suppose the truth in there's two truths. There's Adam and Eve in Assassin's Creed 2, and then there's Valhalla.
It's all linked, isn't it? It's all linked.
Yeah, well, it's all the Isu and the.
It's just the whole Adam and Eve thing was when the humans first became not slaves, and then they had the Isu human war, and then you lead into the Odyssey stuff where they're kind of living in balance. And then the end of the world happens, and then there's more humans than Isu, etc.
The human Isu law is why the Isu is technically that's why the Isu died out because they were so busy with that.
Yeah.
That even though the sixth sense they can see through time and retime and all this stuff, it wasn't until it was too late. They were like, oh shit, the sun's gonna kill us all, basically.
And then they locked Juno away, and then Juno obviously had her massive getting killed off screen in a comic book graphic novel ending.
I will defend so much Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft bullshit, But the ending of Rogue not meaning anything in
The
Unity
thing is,
and how they
I
conclude the
can
Juno
see,
story are two things I will not defend. Those are stupid.
I can see the whole Basim Alethea thing going the same way because it feels like in
As
all the
long as
games.
Darby McDevitt is involved, it'll be fine.
I don't know, but thing is, for since Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, Black Flag, the entire thing was all about Juno coming back, escaping, and getting back into the world again. Ever since she got released in 3,
Mm,
that's the whole thing. That's literally like Black
yeah.
Flag was the whole thing. You almost get turned
Whereas
into
even
a.
even the Chronicles games
Mm.
and the comics, they all went in like the Phoenix Project, which was the instruments of the first wills. We're going to grow her a new body.
Yeah, well,
You know.
that's what they were trying to do with the Shroud, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then obviously she dies. So now what I'm thinking is now for this next generation of Assassin's Creed stories, perhaps Basim or Loki and
Yeah.
Alethea are going to be the next kind of Isu bad guys that we're going to think the entire time is going to be turned out and they just end up getting
Except
killed.
Alethea is pro-human, and
Are they
Basim
though?
slash
Are they though?
Loki's only sort of quarrel does seem to be Eivor, and even then, that's only because of Odin.
I don't think they are pro-human. I think they're pro-human to a degree where they need to get what they need. Now they've got what they need. I don't think they're. He's just got to find Alethea a body, and then once that's done, they can do what they want.
Hmm.
Basim is still part human, which is the only limit for him. He's not Isu. He's a hybrid. He's a hybrid
By the
essentially.
end, by the time you know that Eivor rejects Odin, and Basim has
Yeah, but their body
Sigurd,
is.
by that time Loki has completely took Basim
Yeah,
over.
but
He's no longer
mentally,
no longer.
his subconscious, yes, but his body is still human, part human, part. He's a hybrid, like Cassandra is
Cassandra.
during that. They're part human, part Isu.
Yeah.
He's not a full
Yeah.
Isu because we saw what the Isu were like in if I know you don't like the Isu stuff in Odyssey, but it did give us a very good scene of how powerful Isu were in general.
I wouldn't say I
So
don't,
you got
especially
like
after Valhalla. Like you can use like because of course in Valhalla it looks like mythology because Evil's subconscious can't comprehend the real version of the Isu. Ergo, she sees it as mythology because that's her way of coping with it. You can put that into Odyssey for quite a bit of that and the simulation thing and that. That stuff has softened a lot of the Isu sort of presentation for me in Odyssey. But my thing in Odyssey, it wasn't so much what there was; it was more the execution of it. Like it's so vague whether this is real, what isn't real, what's the simulation, what isn't real. These are Alethea's memories, but they're also not. And also, my opinion, made it a little too. Again, this was fixed by the Valhalla thing in a way, but at least in Valhalla, they explicitly explained this and brought it in. It made too literal the thing from Isu, the image of the Isu over time became our gods,
yeah.
to the Isu are literally gods. And that to me
Well, I don't
was
think that's the thing.
like
Is I
you are
think
just looking at like 7 games of like lore, and you're just like, no, it's this now, and I'm like, that's a I don't know how I feel about
it's
that.
hard to say though, because at the end of the day, people get upset by these things, but at the end of the day, they are just made up things that the people that make them can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, what they are is they're over time the Isu have obviously been seen as gods, but they were just kind of like
Yeah,
human plus, weren't they a bit? But I'd like to
I
see
think
more of that
they
because I
are
think
pretty much. We are pretty like. Oh, I read somewhere. Apart from like it's only like a few chromosomes or something that is the real little difference between an Isu and a human.
so.
Like
Really,
there's
so really, what we're like is Isu, but with Down syndrome.
yeah, we're in a way. Well, I suppose in a way we lack the net.
Some
we
of us,
do kind
most
of
of us,
we
yeah.
do kind of all have eagle vision, but it's only the ones that have quite the right enough genetics to be able
Concentration.
to use
It's
it.
the ones who have enough midichlorians.
Medical, yep.
Yeah.
Do you know the original one of the original pictures for the sequel trilogy was going to be this whole like microscopic midichlorian thing? Yeah, interesting.
It couldn't be any different to Gungan underwater cities, could it?
We went on about Valhalla way more than I thought, but we went from just Valhalla to the interpretation of the Isu.
Imagine if instead of them going to an underwater Gungan city, Obi-Wan and Anakin got microscope down into microscopic size and went into Anakin's blood.
and then they met Ant-Man, and they joined the MCU.
Oh, that'd be a bit of a stretch, but yeah. So yeah, the issue thing I have with Valhalla is just they all seem to. The previous games had a point. You know, they're going for the shroud because they need a shroud to get out of Templar hands. The apple was for control. You know, the little
Yeah.
cubes was for
Yeah.
Black Flag or for whatever reason.
Yeah, hang on. He sort of Isu Piece of Eden goal in Valhalla was literally Valhalla, wasn't it? It was I don't know how you pronounce it. I know you spell it, but basically the Tree of Life simulation matrix thing. That in the main game, at least, that was the main
Yggdrasil.
goal in terms of like Piece of Eden Isu stuff.
Isn't it Yggdrasil, the main Tree of Life?
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil.
That actually does sound right. That actually does sound right.
It's something like Y. It's something like I think it's spelled like YDDR.
How do you pronounce that? Yggdrasil. It does sound about right.
I think it's like YDDRISIL or something like that.
It's like YGGDRASIL or something. I'd look at that and I'm like, that's a word.
Well, they have a lot of particularly mainland Europe. God believes they all have a kind of Tree of Life thing.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of it they touch on in Uncharted and Uncharted 2. There's a big thing where the like the Buddhist things, they have the Irminsul or something, which is their version of the Tree of Life. So there's a kind of a but basically, so what you're saying is that the Piece of Eden thing and that was just like basically Isu Alamus.
But that's how I interpret it, because like I said, there are three main storylines in Valhalla: the Order of Ancient Sin ones, the Alliance Building, and Sigurd. But the one that is usually, like, by everyone considered to be the quote unquote the, in capital letters, the main story is Sigurd. And of course, the end goal of that is he wants to, with the Tree of Life and find Valhalla, which is Yggdrasil.
Because he basically becomes a dick for half the game and thinks he's a god.
And then at the end of the game, he just becomes an NPC you can't even interact with, no matter what.
Well, no, you say you can't interact with him, but you can do a thing when you run at him and send him flying over on his ass every time.
I've never done that.
That's so funny. You should do it, because you can do that in the settlements. You can run at people and they battle. He just goes, ooh! And then because he's only got one arm, you see him struggle to get back up every time.
Wow, you psychopath. Anyway, I think we talked about Valhalla enough. I think. Hey, Fear 2 DLC. I'll just touch on the Fear 2 DLC now. I'll be quick because I've got several things to say about
we're almost at an hour and a half of chat now.
No, I say Fear 2 DLC will be quick. I've got several things to say about Far Cry. I played Fear 2 DLC after, but I'll just get it over now. Yeah, it was okay. It was more Fear 2. I really like Fear 2. I know it pisses me off knowing that it means literally not, like, Fear 2 main game and Fear 2 well, not so much main game, but definitely the DLC means literally nothing in Fear 3. Like Fear 2 to Fear 3, like, I played Fear 2 I played all the Fear games so many times. Fear 1 to 2, yeah, that fits, that works. Fear 2 to 3, what the hell is this? Like what? But yeah, decent DLC, more Fear 2, I liked it. Far Cry 6. You hyped this up as the best Far Cry game.
I liked it. I think it is.
I liked it. It's Far Cry. I like Far Cry. Although I have more criticisms with it than I think I do any other Far Cry game. I'd put it above Blood Dragon, Primal, and Far Cry 3. But my favourite is still Far Cry 4, and then it's 5 New Dawn.
With 6, it brought a lot of new stuff too, which I really liked.
I don't know if I agree quite so much after Far Cry 5, because Far Cry 5, I thought it was like the structure, how the gameplay and you doing the stuff fit with the story, whatnot. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, okay, this is a really cool twist on it. Far Cry 6 doesn't really have that. It feels pretty.
But Far Cry 5 was repetitive.
You
did the same stuff.
I haven't found any Far Cry game repetitive, to be honest.
I think Far Cry 5 was, because you went to this region, you do stuff to make them angry, to undermine, and then you do the missions, then you kill them, you go to the next region, you do stuff to undermine their influence, so on. But with Far Cry 6, I felt there was a big variation. You had missions on horseback, you had missions where you were shooting from the back of a truck, you were doing this, you were flying here,
I will do that.
A huge variation of different things you do.
like if we're talking about story missions, I do think Far Cry 6 was definitely one of the most diverse ones. Like you had missions where you had to like wear disguises and stealth in places. I'm like, I don't remember the last. If Far Cry did do that before, which they probably did, I don't remember the last time it was.
With
I'm like, okay, this is a
Nadia
bit different.
Marquesa.
My criticism of Far Cry 6. One, it's definite. Maybe I was just unlucky, but it's by far the buggiest Far Cry game.
I haven't had any
Easily.
bugs
I
playing
have
it.
so many sound glitches, fast travel glitches.
Really?
Sometimes it wouldn't. I'd have to restart my Xbox to get the damn thing to even start.
Really? I've never had anything like that.
I had so many issues.
I
I
had
don't know whether
anything
I
like
was
that at
unlucky
all.
or what. Like I had more. I thought it was luckier than Valhalla.
The only thing I ever had when I first got it, the opening cutscene was a little bit out of sync with their voices, but once they updated,
I had that as well.
once they updated it, that never happened again. So I just presumed it was a slight issue, but I've never had any.
My excuse me, my other issues. I have one sort of minor one which I did touch on with you, and you kind of like, yeah, still, and another issue which, in my opinion, completely crippled the gameplay. The smaller one, Castillo, brilliant actor, brilliant writing, rock solid villain. That ending, oh my god, like I did not see that ending coming. Although I do wish, spoilers, that you'd been able to save Diego. I'd have been like, perfect ending, save Diego.
The funny thing is, there is one way you can save Diego, and that's by going to Los Angeles or California.
Well, Miami, yeah, Miami. But I'm on about the actual ending.
That
you know,
technically is an ending where he doesn't save Diego.
And I did discuss. You'll probably know what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Vast in Far Cry 3, he was a dark reflection of what Jason Brody would become if he stayed on the island too long. Pagan Min, there was a literal family connection between you and him. Joseph Seed, yeah, you could kind of argue against it, but like from the beginning, you can tell he sees something in you. There is something between the two of you. Like literally from the beginning and that. Yeah. Something. There is something there. It's hard to explain in that, but when you play the game, you can see it. And New Dawn expands on this.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this.
Castillo, there is literally no sort of connection between Danny, brilliant protagonist, like, oh my god, like I can't, like,
the best.
I'm going to refer to Danny as a her, but from now on, because I've seen Danny as a dude. Yeah, good, he does a decent job, but no, good. Danny Rojas.
I did tell you, she's much better played as the girl.
Brilliant, like. Okay, like very quickly, her voice actor, I love her. There's so much character and personality there. Like, brilliant character.
He's the best Far Cry. I still say it's the best Far Cry protagonist we've had. Yeah.
I like Jason Brody, I like AJ, but not even the fact there's proper cutscenes. Just there's a pure from personality and writing perspective. Oh, yeah. Danny Rojas is brilliant.
She's very normal. She's a very down to earth person. She's very relatable.
Her first line. They got my name wrong. Like, I don't know. It's just like it's a nothing like.
I like all the different things. Like there's so much like little comments she makes when she's doing things and you're exploring.
When you walk around the world and people say hello to you, she says hello back. I'm like, I like that.
Well, like one of my favorite things is like when she sings along to the radio.
Yeah, I only had that once because, of course, I barely used vehicles. But when that happened, I was like, I got it.
It's even more relatable because if you do it a lot, you realise that. The funny thing she does is she'll only sing along to some of it because it's implied that she can't remember all the words, like a real person. Or if in the song there starts to have rapping, she won't rap because like you wouldn't if you were singing a song yourself, you wouldn't do it because you couldn't keep up with it. So there's like so much humanity to it.
But yeah, as I say, Castillo, brilliant villain. Danny Rojas, phenomenal protagonist. I'd have liked there to have been some kind of connection between the two outside of she wants to free Yara and kill him by doing so.
The thing is, for me...
And wants to kill her so that she doesn't stop him from being so. There is, again, the Diego stuff.
Yeah.
The Diego stuff, brilliant. That's another reason why I wish Diego spoilers again. Because that connection, that bond is really, really good. And there's a lot of depth and like stuff there. But between actual Anton himself and Danny, there's like literally nothing. And again, after Vast, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed, I was like, that's a miss. I can feel it missing. I just feel it's missing a bit.
Talking on this, funny thing is, and there might be a weird way of going about this, but if you actually look into some of the lore of Far Cry 6, there is actually lore that says that Castillo actually spoke to Diego about Pagan Min and Joseph Seed.
Yeah, I know
You
about
actually
that.
talk about it. So
There's like a
perhaps,
comic or a novel, or basically that.
perhaps he, this is just us clutching at straws here, but perhaps he thought, I won't develop a relationship with the protagonist in my story because that's where they went wrong.
Yeah, Pagan Min doesn't kill you because he cares about you like a son.
Yeah.
Voss doesn't kill Jason Brody because he's in a kind of way, in love with him in the
And
same way you could say Joker is with Batman.
and Jason Brody doesn't kill Vass.
Oh shit, yeah.
He's alive.
Again, spoilers, yeah. Like that, I knew I had
like
this
an old
spoiled for
man.
me, but I was still like, cool.
He looks like an old man now as well.
Remember when we had this crazy theory that Diego was young Voss, and loads of ones did? There is still a Voss connection there. It's just totally not what we thought it was.
The thing is, like I said to you in the past, I think that Diego is.
Yeah, Diego. Yeah, and that stuff works. I'm cool with that. That's good.
And the thing is, with this, Castillo's main rival and the person he has that relationship is with Clara.
Yeah.
And you have it through them. You lose your friends. You're angry. You do it. Blah blah blah. You get involved in it. You develop the relationship. It's what you kind of have, and it's kind of a weird thing if you look at it like this. Clara is kind of like your mother character in a way. She's kind of like she's the person that looks after you. Castillo looks after Diego, but Clara is against Castillo and you're with Diego. So you have your both, they've got their clash and you've got your clash.
Yeah.
You're working through it in different things, and obviously it's revealed that towards the end, spoilers, that
in a way, it's
Clara
the sins.
Clara knows that you've seen Diego.
In a kind of way, well, literal way for Diego and Anton, but kind of in a sort of metaphorical way for Clara and Danny. The sins of the parents, like carry on the kids in a way. Like Anton and Clara have been at this for years, and there was a very good chance, despite, because Anton's father was deposed from a revolution by El Tigre, the goat, the absolute legend El Tigre and his gang. Rest in peace, El Tigre. You deserve better. And please give us an DLC. Anton's father was deposed by him, and Anton very likely, if you hadn't got involved, would have died, and Clara's lot would have won, or might have won.
I mean, if you don't get involved and you go to Miami, it says on the radio that that Castillo won. So you are the sole reason that entire thing works as ever in games. Before you came along, nothing worked. Now you're just fucking taking over the whole island single-handedly. But yeah, I think that's what I like it. I don't necessarily want there to be a weird relationship where the main villain stares into my eyes for too many lengths of time, which is what they did in Far Cry 5. Too much eye contact. I kind of like it. I like the relationship that
family. I love the Seed family. They're so creepy. I love it. I love them.
I like the relationship you have with Diego and how it's a much different one, where he's sort of coming to terms with his dad, and I like all that, and having proper cutscenes means a lot. And I really like all the characters in Far Cry. I think it's got a great host of,
When Diego appears, spoilers again. When Diego appears on the boat at the start and with the card, I was straight away like, "There's going to be something there. I'm interested. I'm into this. I want to see where he ends up."
He likes her because she gets him on the boat. She basically tries to help him.
Well, like I think I said to you, Danny is in a way the family he wants, and Anton is the messed up family that he's got, but he doesn't really want, because he shoots the torturer when he's pulling Danny's teeth out. He straight up shoots one of his father's.
But there's also bonding moments between Anton and Diego.
We're just people. We are spoiling Far Cry 6. Don't listen. If you want to play it, spoiler free. Don't listen to this section.
There's also moments where Anton and
hotel
Diego.
I was going to.
But no, I'm thinking there's bonding moments between where actually you see Diego starting to bond with his dad a little bit. Mainly, there is moments where they teach, they do actually get on a bit, and they do have these things. And Diego, despite not wanting his family, he doesn't want them to kill his dad still.
Yeah.
And it's also the bit where they bond over shooting their stupid uncle.
Oh my god, that golf scene is pretty fun. Where Diego's trying to shoot the birds, and the guy comes in like, I can bang, and Anton's just like, run. We literally got the meme in the game itself. And then he runs off, and then Diego shoots him, and Anton's like, my boy.
I'm like, good child.
I like that. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, there is still that sort of insane side to you. Truth or lies? Always truth.
I will say, I do like the kind of twist that he was suffering from cancer and Vibro stopped working. I did quite like that. I was like, okay, they add another dimension to him. It's a bit late, but it works. It fits. Like the whole him wanting this cancer treatment thing. It works. I'm cool with this. Why not?
Yeah, no, there is that, and then I mean, I know you're pretty mixed on Juan towards the end, but
If Juan hadn't been such a cunt, basically, I'm sorry.
But it's like
In
I
the
said,
last
it's
few
like
missions, he gets Clara killed, and then through all that stuff, he
well, I
gets.
don't. I'm not sure if we. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure if we can blame him for getting Clara killed because I think she would have died whether he shot Diego or not.
He did not have to try and shoot my man
But
Diego.
Clara didn't have to go there like an idiot for a meeting.
She might have been successful. It's the thing we don't know.
He wouldn't.
We don't know what would have happened.
We have to be realistic here. She wouldn't have. She wouldn't.
Oh, and also, okay, just on a basic level, if Juana just waited for Anton to get in range more and not be like, yeah, screw this, I'm killing the kid.
How are you saying his name?
Like 10 seconds.
How are you saying his name?
What? Diego Juan?
Because when you say Juan, you keep saying Juan.
Juan.
Yeah, Juan.
I'm being very harsh with Juan.
Danny.
But if we just been like, just waited 10, 15 more seconds, Anton would have come into view and you could have blown his head off. Diego and Clara would have been alive. I know. I'd have been happy.
But it's like I said to you. It's like I said. He sees her as like a daughter. He was worried. He wasn't thinking straight.
He never thinks straight. He's high all the bloody time, and then after that mission, like after that, he's like, I'm taking all the cancer drugs and I'm projectile vomiting, but I'm good.
That's his. Yeah, he's a bit of a. Yeah, I know. That's his dichotomy as a character.
Right. I think it's time to delve into my biggest issue with Far Cry 6 and try to really cripples the game. As you know, Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, and Primal as well, and Blood Dragon actually, the way the XP system worked meant you got more XP if you got headshots, and then even more XP if you got stealth kills, which meant maximum like sort of XP and rewards for this. I'm gonna have to play extra, like I can't, if I'm super cautious in that, I'll get way less XP and level up slower than with this. And I really like that. It encouraged you to get up close and stealthy. Far Cry 5 and New Dawn, they replaced this with a system where you've got skill points around the map and from doing challenges. I didn't like that. I still don't. I thought that was a downgrade. And having said that, I really do not like Far Cry 6's system where there's no XP or leveling at all. And the abilities and that are tied to specific bits of gear. I hate that. I don't want to have to decide, be like, do I want to disarm the alarms faster and be able to sabotage them? Do I want to be able to do the thing where you can take down a guy, grab their handgun and kill everyone? Or choose between, or like, it's what I hate about Odyssey, like how Assassin's Creed Odyssey's RPG systems work.
Thing is.
So limiting. I hate it. I genuinely hate it.
Thing is,
I straight away when you said there was no XP or level, I was like, okay. And then when I started playing, I was like, this system is shit. I hate this so much. Please go back to Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4 system.
But the thing is, I don't care. Because for me, I don't mind playing stealthy or otherwise. I just put a silencer on my gun, I'll just do that. I don't mind playing like that. But the thing is, what I like about it is it makes sense in a way that Danny doesn't have to unlock abilities.
My god, I just realised something else. She's the only protagonist who's had actual military training, so this doesn't even make sense from a character perspective. Jason Brody can do all this shit just with his basic gear and that, but Danny's like, no, I can only do this military thing. I've had military training, but I can do this military thing with this hat on. I can only do this military thing with these shorts on. That makes no sense from a character perspective.
Yeah, but in a way, if you don't think about what I'm thinking about, is the core element of the fact is that she doesn't have to unlock a heavy takedown. She doesn't have to unlock doing that way of a takedown.
Oh, it's even more stupid. It kind of makes sense that way. Like you're learning it or relearning it or whatnot. But then you're like, I put these shorts on. Now I can run 3 times as fast. That's so stupid.
That's just like the RPG mechanic, isn't it?
Because you only wear like 5 bits of clothing. I want to be able to do the knife take down, the train take down, the grenade take down, the pistol take down. I want to be able to do all this stuff.
That's just an RPG mechanic on the side of it.
Yeah, and Odyssey had it, and I hated it, and they still do.
The part I like is that the fact is when you begin the game, you don't have to learn things. Because it'd be stupid for a character that has had military training to have to learn how to do a takedown.
And it's stupid that you can't do half of these takedowns without wearing a certain piece of gear.
Who cares though? Because you can just shoot everything.
Me?
I don't care.
I care.
I just did it. In Far Cry 6, my way of doing it was this: I had a sniper rifle, and I had an assault rifle and a pistol. And
I silenced assault rifle, silenced sniper rifle, bow, silenced machine pistol.
I didn't have a silenced pistol though. I had just a normal M1911 fully loud. I either stealth and headshot, or towards the end I just run in and fucking gun the shit up completely loud. Just shoot all the alarms, they can't call for backup. Or what I went to do for majority of the outposts and the checkpoints, I just got the helicopter. Full stop. Flew there, blew the shit up, flew to the next one, blew the shit up, flew to the next one, blew the shit up. You can even
I'll confess, once I got the bit of gear which meant I could do stealth kills on enemies even from the front when they're alerted to me, I spent like 100 of my 120-hour playtime doing that because it's so broken.
You don't even have to worry about the anti-aircraft guns, because if you fly under the radar, you can fly all the way to them and just kill them.
Yeah, I did that with a few AA guns. I did
all of them. That's all I did. When I had to clear up the rest of the guns, I just got a helicopter, flew low, and I did all of them. Even with the best funny vehicle in the game, which is the car that can fly and be a car.
That thing's amazing.
But incredibly difficult to land without killing yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
The number of times I crash landed, thought it was going to be fun, and I just blew up.
But even though I had these criticisms, I think the gameplay is almost ruined by that one thing. I still played for like 120 hours. I enjoyed pretty much everything. It's another Far Cry game. I like what Far Cry games. I like loads of ones like, it's the same shit. It's the most baseline Ubisoft open world experience. Yes, it is, but I like what these games offer. I enjoy, in my opinion, the two weakest Far Cry's, Primal and Blood Dragon, hilariously the two that were the most different and experimental. I just like what the Far Cry games offer me. Give me this big, like, open area that's full of interesting stuff to do and fun weapons and fun gameplay mechanics, and that's me sorted for like 100 hours. You know, it's another Far Cry game. It's another good Far Cry game. I like Far Cry games. What can I say? Call me a hypocrite.
Well,
I
think we're going to have to draw this podcast to a close.
Well, I have gone through all my Christmas stuff at long last.
I think it's
we have Valhalla and Far Cry 6 tangents that are entertaining. I'm looking forward to watching this back.
Good. So you should. But anyway, we're going to have to end the podcast here because it's been going for a long time now. So thank you all for listening and watching.
Spoilers, guys. Our main man, who we mentioned a few times, Bruno, said he might join, but he didn't.
He's still got another podcast recording.
Hearing us talk about Assassin's Creed, probably.
He's still got another podcast recording.
Yeah. I'm probably going to end up having my tea or that like for half of the second podcast. Oh well. Like you'd be talking to me while I'm having like a pot noodle or something.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
that's been the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Are you want to say goodbye to anyone? Yep. No. Okay.
Hello, Sonia!
I have expected you. Greetings. Do you know why I live here? Yes. I have been pondering on exactly that question. All in good time. First, a question for you. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. What will you burn? What will you spare? Yes. Few could resist such a challenge. You once told me you did not believe in destiny. Do you have no better reason for acting than destiny? Are you nothing but a plaything of fate? Yes. Do not be afraid. Fulfill your destiny. Few could resist such a challenge. Why do you delay? What else would you seek? Go then. Fare thee well. Do not be afraid. Remember well. Power, you have it. But power is inert without action and choice.